Hey kids, have you ever had a card that you read once and it seemed like absolutely absurd, but you never really tried anything with it because you just didn't want to and just kind of forgot about it for a while? Then you came back to it and you reread it and you just thought to yourself, there's no way there's nothing here, right? That was pretty much my experience with Heraldic Beasts. I mean, have you read some of these cards? They have a double Monster Reborn, a 2-for-1 Lone Fire Blossom, and a double Foolish Burial. Only one of those cards is a hard once per turn or locks you into anything, by the way, and I'm not telling you which. Because maybe if you remain pure and ignorant about dumbass decks like Heraldic, you'll be able to remember your own phone number. Also, I threw some Time Thieves in here too, because the only locks on these cards is for Psychic and Machine monsters, and Time Thieves just kind of fit naturally as a rank 4 strategy that makes Psychics. I could jam Math Mech in here too, but then the deck would basically just be a more competent version of yesterday's Celtic Guard video, and I want decks I upload videos on one after the other to at least try to be distinct. For our first game, we'll be going up against what appears to be a table 500 deck. This is the kind of thing you would see on twitch.tv/LukeVonKarma. I don't know what they're trying to do. I assume FTK, but maybe they just didn't find it. Anyway, our hand's pretty bad, so we're just going to go ahead and start off with a Foolish Burial for Leo. Leo is going to add us a card. Then we're going to use Amphisbaena to pitch Unicorn to special itself, and a normal Aberconway and make Redoer and pass. I probably could have tried to go for more, but I figured that this was just good minimal investment play. Our opponent's gonna Raigeki, so we're gonna go ahead and just tag out. We ripped a spell off the top, so we get to draw a card too. We hit a Unicorn. We're gonna Ash the Dark Beckoning Beast. I didn't want to Ash Spirit Gates because then I just get fucking ruined by them having a target in hand. Anyway, they're going to go ahead and just do some stuff. The second I see this setup, I was actually terrified, but then my turn came back to me and everything just came, wave of relief crashed over my body. Anyways, here we're going to double Monster Reborn, Leo and Aberconway, and then Exceed Summon into Heraldry Patriarch. We're going to go ahead and link off for Gravity Controllers, so we get to send 2 and search 1. We're going to summon Amphisbaena, and then use Aberconway to add back Leo, which will normal summon, and make Merrymaker. Merrymaker's going to send Branga, and then we're going to summon Sargus. Sargus is going to add Regulus. We're going to go ahead and Regulus equip the Branga. Go in with Redoer for 24, lag my computer. Summon back the Almirage. We're going to go ahead and tag out with the Redoer. They activate Almirage to protect the Reaper-Docus from destruction, but unfortunately Sargus can bounce, and we have Lethal. And that's game. I swear I am not going out of my way to find these players. I host on EDOpro. I host the game, no password, nothing, and people just show up playing stuff like Buster Blade or Red Eyes. Unfortunately for my opponent, they are facing one of the few human beings who actually knows what a modern build of Buster Blader looks like, so I'm going to cook them now. We're going to start with Regulator, which is going to get us Adjuster and Winder. Adjuster is going to send a copy of Bezelship, and Winder is just going to add another Regulator, I guess. We're going to go ahead and summon Winder and Bezelship by detaching both materials from Heraldry Patriarch, which is going to double Foolish for Leo and Unicorn. Leo's going to add Amphisbaena, which is going to special summon itself, pitching Aberconway. We're going to Reborn Patriarch with the Unicorn's Graveyard effect, and then Small World into a second Amphisbaena. Now I'll make Vespanado. I did choke a lot earlier by detaching all the materials from the first Heraldry Patriarch. I should have saved one of those effects for now, so that way I could trigger the second double Foolish effect. I mismanaged my resources. My B, I suppose. We're going to send Branga with Merrymaker, then make Sargus and search for Regulus. Then we'll just go ahead and link off both Vespanado and Regulus for not Regulus, Sargus for Lambda. We're going to go ahead and add a bunch of cards to our hand, summon the second Amphisbaena, and activate Booty. We're going to make Redoer, equip the Vespanado, and set Retrograde. Still a negate. This is still a monster negate, a spell trap negate, and a non-negate. And our opponent is going to Cosmic the Vespanado. I don't really get why, but I accept. They're going to activate Red Eye's Insight and then Red Eye's Fusion. We're going to retrograde that. So now there's a monster spell and trap under Redoer. They are going to get that Dragon Buster Destruction Sword stacked, and we're going to draw a card. They're going to set Return of the Red Eyes, by the way. We're going to go to Equip, and they're going to activate Return. Unfortunately, I don't think they realized that it requires a Red Eyes on field, so they're going to concede. Something of a running theme for this video is that I get paired up against people who are playing weird Rogue decks, but Rogue is a bit generous for some of these. But I am one of few people who actually understands the modern version of this deck. And case in point, here's Mech Knights, or not Mech Knights, fucking Mech Lords. Too many MEK mech archetypes, I guess. It's a non-zero amount, that's what matters. Our opponent is on, Supply Squad. They're on Mechlord Gadgets with Black Salvo, which is exceedingly based. I love Black Salvo in Mechlords because of Weissel. Fun fact, Mechlords was the very first deck I brought to a regional. And I scrubbed out hard. Anyway, they're going to start with Desires, summon Gold Gadget for Silver Gadget. Silver Gadget is going to summon Obligato. They're not going to fire it here. I don't really get why. Then they summon Platinum Gadget, summon Mechlord Army of Skill, make Gear Gigant X, and add Infinity Core. Then they make Vespinato and pass, which isn't ideal, but at the same time, I don't really know. I guess what they could have done is, like, they could have, if they were on the Symphonic Warrior package, they could have searched for guitar, pitched something for guitar to get an extra normal with mics, and then normal Diablogato, and then that would have gotten them to something, I guess. But I don't know. We're going to start with Regulator and tribute it to summon Winder and Adjuster. We've drawn both of our ideal targets for, we've drawn our ideal target for Winder, so we're just going to go ahead and send Bezel Ship, and then here we're going to use Charged Up Heraldry to tribute the Patriarch and get these two. Leo is going to be sent off the Patriarch, which allows us to add Amphisbaena. We're going to make Merrymaker and send Branga, and then Merrymaker is going to be used for Sargus. Sargus is going to grab Regulus, and we're going to link off Regulus for Gravity Controller. Here we're going to Heraldry Art these two back for Redoer, make Vespinato, detach the Patriarch for Bezel Ship, which is going to double Foolish again. Aberconway here is going to be adding back Unicorn, which we're going to pitch for Amphisbaena, which makes a second Redoer. We're going to summon Regulus and then search for Booty. We're going to activate Foolish just to deck thin, because deck thinning is deck winning. We're going to crash our Vespinatos because I get multiple bodies out of this, which converts to another rank for during main phase 2, but unfortunately we aren't going to be able to kill just because of the sheer floating that these monsters gives our opponent, but we are going to get in for a smidgen of damage and end on Heraldry Patriarch, 3-mat Zeus, Retrograde, Redoer, and a Regulus, and we rip a spell for this Redoer. They're going to start with Infinity Core, then they're going to activate Assembly. We're going to retrograde the Assembly. They're going to set one and pass. During the end phase, we'll just go ahead and draw since there's multiple spells attached. They're going to go ahead and try to overdrive when we try to attach. We'll Regulus negate that, and this does put them at pretty much just game because we search with Leo. This should have been an attack. I misclicked, actually. So we're going to make Lambda, get in for well over lethal, and that's game. A great game to our opponent, but unfortunately, we came out on top. I feel like there are a lot of decks out there that are dangerously close to being broken in half, and this is like the prime candidate for that I've seen. If Konami ever prints a monster that searches the spells, the Aberconway sweep will begin. I doubt it'll ever happen, but on the off chance it does, I will very, very gladly welcome it.